Okay. So let us discuss about repository variables today. So we have different types of variables in OBIEE. So what does a variable mean? Variable is nothing but the value will keep getting changed. Okay. So with respect to a particular session, or with respect to a particular query, or with respect to the scenario that you have written using your SQL. Okay. There are different types of variables in OBIEE. Okay. So there are different types of variables in OBIEE. We have something like repository. In repository again we have something like static variables and dynamic variables, and we have something called as session variables. In session we have something called system session variables and non-system session variables. Pardon. And we have something as presentation variables. So each and every variable type has some usage. So generally most of the time in 85% of our scenarios, mostly 90% of our scenarios, we will work with static and dynamic variables. Very few cases, some cases we go for system and non-system. So what are system variables? When I say session variables, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, you can see it now. So I wanted to start a topic on variables, okay, in OBIEE. So we have something called repository variables. Under repository, we have something as static and dynamic variables, and we have session variables as well. So in session, it is categorized as two different types: system and non-system variables, and we have something as presentation variables as well. Presentation variables are completely used in UI, so we are not going to learn it now. In UI practice, we will again see what is a presentation variable. What is a system variable is, our system variables are predefined or which are already present in your OBIEE when application is installed. Okay, example, user, webland, portal path. So your OBIEE thought that these are the variables which should be enabled for user, okay, which should be enabled for a developer for predefined purpose. So for what we do with them, we cannot even create any other variable with the same name because these are already reserved words, like reserved keywords in C or C++. When I say int, char or varchar, something like that, these variables, not only these three, there are some more variables. We will open RPD and we'll just see, okay, just see here. Let me open administration and just see how your variables are categorized. So how to do that? Login to RPD using online mode. Welcome one and welcome one. There is something called manage variables. Okay. So click here. You have repository variables and you have session variables. Under repository variables, you have static and dynamic. As of now, I didn't even create a single variable. And under session variable also, I don't have any variable different. Just create a right click on new session variable or just click on system variables. And what I did, I just clicked on system or just right click. Right. Whether it is a user GUID, group, roles, role GUIDs, permissions, proxy, tenant GUID, web groups, user locale, log level. These are all the variables which are predefined by your OBIEE. If you want, use them. If you don't want, leave them. Non-system session variables are, what is a session variable first? A variable whose life period or whose span is valid for a particular session. I am opening one of the applications that started working into my analytics. That means user web logic. session is, that is one session, like. So in that session, user will be web logic and his corresponding values. And what is the non-system? Suppose I want to go for region, customer region. How to get customer region for each user based on your non-system session variable? Create something called customer region where user is equal to enqueue session dot user. Means any user who is logging into the system, their region will be automatically populated. And how that region should come? It should come from again a data warehouse table. Only your filter criteria matches with, only your filter criteria will have this enqueue session or enqueue value of all this. Okay. So don't worry about system and non-system variables much because we use them very frequently. The most important things are variable. Yes, Gaurav. So if you are closing your session, that means your session variables values are gone. When you relog in again, it may differ. But generally, it will remain the same. For each user, we don't change anything daily, right? So for user is always remaining the same. Obviously, his data, if it is getting changed in the tables, it will change. Otherwise, it is quite calm. Whereas static variables are like, suppose say in my C programming, what I do while writing my main class, I just do something like int I equal to 5. So what is this? This is my static variable whose value remains I remains the same across all the functions in my language, C language, right? The same thing in my tool here. If I create a new variable here, suppose say I am creating something called as year, and let me give it as 1998. So always my year value is 1998 itself. And just see this does not have any initialization block. But if it is a dynamic variable, I need to have an initialization block first. Because what is an initialization block? Initialization block is the place where you have SQL query or any other criteria to populate your variable. Okay. So most of the times you will be working with dynamic repository variables only, and dynamic repository variables are important. Okay. Now, yesterday we had a scenario like I gave something like less than or equal to 1998 1232, right? So for fact sales in the fragmentation content, for historical table, what I did, I gave this as 1998 1231. Suppose say these tables are daily load tables and my values keep getting changed in historical and recent using Informatica. How do you handle that? You cannot go to historical and recent on daily basis and you cannot change this manually. Like suppose say 1998 1231, I am storing 2 years data suppose, and this is coming as something 1999 0101. From today, if it is going for exactly 2 years back, obviously my value also will keep getting changed. Yeah. So instead of having a static value here, let us see how to make it dynamic. Okay. So we'll create a dynamic variable and let us see how variables can be used both in RPD as well as in UI. Okay. Fine. So for this, yeah. So we'll create a dynamic variable using new object. So for variables, what we should have a separate connection pool in 11G. In 10G, we used to use same connection pool. But in 11G, the thing is your variable or initialization block will keep getting refreshed on hourly basis or minutes basis also. You can keep scheduling that. Suppose say manage variables, initialization block, new initialization block, a refresh interval. You can go for a day or go for a hour or go for a minute. So irrespective of your thing, your query will keep getting refreshed. Obviously, your connection pool is overheaded. So instead of giving the same connection pool both for reports and for variables, we will separate the variables connection pool. So to do that, create a new connection pool. How to do that? New object, connection pool. Give the name of the connection pool as variables. and data source name as ORCL, username as supplier2, password as supplier2, leave other things as it is, just click OK and confirm the password. So now we have the second connection tool. Just let me check whether this works properly or not. So this is working, connection is proper, so just cancel this. Okay, so now let me use this connection pool for my variables to fetch values from data warehouse. Any initialization block, any SQL query which is there in your RPD should anyway get data from your data warehouse itself. There is no other go. That means instead of getting data from supplier CP connection pool through this pipeline, so I have two pipelines, one for Bangalore and one for one more area in Bangalore. So instead of heading your pipeline, make one more pipeline and send you all your requests through that, through a second pipeline. So your water is there, but the load in the first pipeline is reduced, and your reports are faster. Okay, so like this. Now, what we will see, we will create a new initialization block as order split. So what will this fetch? This will fetch what is the date, maximum date in your historical table. So what we are using for split 1998 1231. So last words means what is that, Chandu?
Means after creating the connection pool.
Yeah. See why I am creating connection pool is, see, generally any report or any request from your UI is going through supplier CP connection pool. But any variable or initialization block that I create in my variables will always go through variables connection pool. And in 11G, what is it makes an error here itself. It will not allow you to use a common connection pool for both. It will ask you to create a separate connection, because to get results from your data warehouse, instead of your select queries going and hitting supplier CP continuously, you are creating one more connection pool, making your queries to route through that. Okay, so we will see no issues. And what we are doing, yeah, go ahead.
This connection pool is make a connection with the database, but in variable, why do we need that? It is just the internal thing of RPD, right?
It is the internal thing. See, there are a lot of ways of fetching data from your data warehouse, right? Even your supplier CP also will support, but in 11G, by default, the tool is designed like that. It will not allow you to use a shared connection pool both for reporting and variables. It will give you an error message. Okay, that is first thing. And second thing is, instead of putting an extra burden on your supplier CP, right? So suppose say if I create 20 initialization blocks, okay, real time you see 20 or 25 max, nothing much. Suppose say if I have 20 initialization blocks, your 20 initialization blocks will keep getting refreshed. By default will give 1 hour, hourly basis. So that hourly basis, whether your UI is working or not, these queries will go and hit the data warehouse and get the results. So my always,
So
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah,
I just wanted to ask, if we are hard coding some value of the variable, then also we need a connection variable. We are not.
Correct. For that we are not even worrying about this one, right? Initialization block. So no initialization block. Just give a value and use it. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For only if it is dynamic. Dynamic means the value will keep changing. For all those values, you should have an initialization. So in my scenario now, what I am looking at is, I want to have this value 1998 1231 from a dynamic variable. How to get this? Anyhow, this value should come from a table. So always my value will, historical and recent will keep getting populated by Informatica or some data migration tool. And on daily basis, these tables will keep getting changed with certain set of values. And I want a maximum period value in my historical table. So how to do that? Go to manage variables. In the initialization blocks, right click here create a new initialization block as order split. There is something called data source. Edit data source. Here data source type is a database, and you have to assign your connection pool with variables. So I am giving variables connection pool and write your SQL here. It should not return more than one value. If it is more than one value, again there is one more step. If it is returning more than one value, you have to create all the this one corresponding variables also. If it is returning 5 values, you have to create 5 variables. Okay. So let us see. Now let me write this value. Select maximum period key from historical table. So irrespective, however my historical table is getting loaded on daily basis, I don't care. I always want maximum period key from here. Okay. Just click test. Unresolved connection pool object orcl.variables. Okay, so I am just selecting use database specific SQL, and when I selected this one, it is giving me some value. Just give test. Okay, no issues. Leave it. We'll just test it here. It is returning a value. We have to place this in a target. Okay. So what is that? We will give the name of the variable as end historical data. Okay. So how to do this? Click on new. Give name of the variable as end historical data, and by default you can see that your initialization block is order split. You can give any default initializer, or if you are not giving also, that is still fine. Click OK.
Do we need to define data type also of the variable?
You need not to. Whatever is there from period key, it will automatically take it. You need not to define data type of the variable. Okay. Just click on. Okay. Yeah, I didn't check in right. I think that that's the reason it is unable to do that. Okay. Just go to manage variables again. Now I have a initialization block. I have a dynamic variable as end historical data. Double click on this. So by default, see, are you seeing that value is getting populated here? Yeah. 1998, 1231 is getting populated automatically here. Just go to your initialization block and open this. Just click on test. So this is having end historical data as a variable, and your value is getting picked from your data variable. So this is working properly. After confirming here, use the same thing under historical also. So here, instead of having this value, open your expression builder, and here you have something called as repository variables. You have something called as end historical data. Less than or equal to 1998-31, or I can give value of end historical data. Okay, so value of is the syntax to retrieve value of a particular variable. Okay, just click OK. Okay, and for recent, what you do? Same thing. Greater than end historical data. Value of end historical data. Click OK. Click OK. Check in the changes. Check consistency. And what is the immediate step? We will just check whether this works properly or not in UI. Log into your application.
Presentation there.
Okay. Now create a new analysis using your fact sales, dollars, product, specific, okay, and order date is in, I'll give is between 1998 0102 Jan 2nd and 1998 somewhere around March 7th. Click OK. So this should obviously go on his first table. Click on results. You get some value for your dollars and specific. Check your query. So do you see that it goes to fact given address historical without any issues, and your order date filter also should be there. Where is that? Yeah. Period key is between 98 and 1998 307. So how it is going and hitting your historical table itself? That is because of your order date that you selected here. And we gave a criteria in my historical table as anything order date less than of value of this one, it should go here. See, it can go and hit recent table also, right? But because of the content that we give, it is hitting like this. And if you want to check this value in UI also, you can do that. So how to do that? Just go to criteria, and instead of giving it like this, let me go here, product, not type, sorry, specific, and just pull one more column and just make a edit formula for this, and instead of giving product dot specific, so instead of pulling it from a present area, I can do one more thing, variable repository, give end historical data as the name, just click OK. So it is giving value of end historical data, just click OK, click results. So do you see 1998 1231 keep getting populated? Okay. Yeah, you can remove these two also, no issues. If you want to only to look into the value, even look for that value 1998 like this. That means if you give value of that repository variable, automatically that will come and sit here, and you can use wherever you want. Generally we use dynamic variables in the filter section. Year is in current year, month is in current month, like that. Okay, we will see that. We will create one more variable and do it. Okay, now we did this. Now initialization block, order split and variable are present. Okay. Next. Okay. We will see how to use our dynamic repository variables as filters. Now I will create one more variable as current periods. I will create one more initialization block as current periods. So what does your current periods include? Year, month and day. So how to do this? Go to your manage variables. Obviously you need an initialization block for your dynamic variables. So click on new initialization block. Give the name of the initialization block as current periods. Click on edit data source, and this is database specific. Browse your connection pool variables, select this and take the query. See, you can write your own query. If you are intelligent enough, write the query, or else take the query from your normal table itself. So as of now, what I am taking? Date, month code, year from calendar to table, where YYMMD, where date is equal to maximum transaction date from my orders to. So this is my sales table, and this will have maximum period key, right? Maximum period key will be always a single value, because my group function will return only single value. This what do we call it? Single row subqueries. SQL, if you have idea, this we call single row subquery. Obviously this will return one value that is compared against your YYMMD, and on that particular date, what is the date and what is the month and what is the year, you are selecting it from calendar to table. Click OK. in edit data target in the same sequence. First is a day, right? Current day. In the same order, just give your values like current day, current month, and current year. So how to do that? Create new. First one is current day. Click OK. Second one is current month. Click OK. And the third value is current year. See that current day will have only one value, current month will have one value, current year will have one value, because this is only designed to get one value for each of the column. Click OK. Click test. Current day will be populated with 1999 April 21. This is the last transaction in the table. And current month, but in our case and daily basis it will be latest day. Okay. And for current year 1999 according to our tables, because we don't have data till 2050, so it is giving the proper values, the latest value. Click on close, and when you go to dynamic, sorry, I clicked on cancel. I'm not sure. Create it once again. Current periods, edit data source. Take the query, paste it here, give the connection to, click OK, edit data target, click new, give current day, current month, and current year. Click OK. So test. Click OK. So your order split is created. Under dynamic variables, you can say current day, current month, and current year. Close this. Check in the changes. So main thing is, generally the main idea is writing an intelligent SQL to get the value that you want. Okay, so it depends on you itself. Okay, so as soon as you did this, now the next step is creating a report and using this report in your for your analysis purpose. Okay, now see what I will do. Immediate thing is we have to reload our server metadata, pull year, month code, day, fact sales, dollars, and filter on the year. I want it only for current year. Filter, just observe this carefully, add more options, repository variable. So column year is equal to is in your repository variable name. So that is current year, right? Click OK. What I am giving, year is equal to is in @ current year. This is by default, it automatically appends. You need not to worry. So just click on results. See, by default you can only see data for 1999. Let me make it in much more cleaner way. Okay, you will have certain number of records and everything is for just 1999. You don't have any other record for 1998. You see this, right? Right? Because I am making a filter on that year card. Go to your administration, check the query. Where equal to see, do you see this, where year is equal to 1999 automatically getting populated, and do you see in your logical SQL where time dot year is equal to value of current year? Logical SQL is there, and when it is going to your data warehouse, automatically your logical value of your variable is going and hitting in the data warehouse, and it is properly getting the results. So this is what happens when you use it filters. You can use it anywhere. It is up to you how you use it. Now suppose say I want to filter it for current month. So what to do? Go to filter, give is in, sorry, add more options, repository variable, and give the variable name. Now I should see for current year 1999 and current month April. So I should only look, have data only for April. So click on results. Do you have data for only April? Right? 1999 and 1999-04. I am not seeing data for any other thing because I am giving it in where clause, where year is equal to 1999, where month is equal to April. So obviously that will display data only for that. And suppose say if I make filter on my day also. Do we see only for one day? 1999-04-21? Yes. So tell me, what is the use of your dynamic repository variables by looking at this? Suppose say, in my system I have 500 plus reports. Generally it will be 1000, 2000 reports. Just some projects will have only 200 reports also. But maximum you will use year filter. By default you will keep using year filter. You will not look data for all the 10 years. Generally you will look data for a current year. And always every report should filter with that value, right? So you should give where year is equal to 2015, year is equal to 2015 for all the 500. Imagine on daily basis if you want to change that value for 500 reports, how many developers you need? Many people. You need at least, yeah. So you need at least lots and lots of developers to change even, right? To even change your 500 reports, what you will be looking at? You will be looking at many people. You should have many developers and they should daily, they should change year is equal to 2015. Suppose say not daily, at least yearly once for that year. But suppose say day I want, current day if I am looking. Daily basis they have to change for all the 500 reports. But if I replace it with a variable, your OBIEE itself will take care of it. The latest values will keep flowing. No developer can go there and no need to touch the code or no need to touch your report, make change. It's automated, right? So all these values will flow and you will always see the latest values, the latest report. Fine? Like this. So this is why your variables are very, very important on daily basis, and this will solve many of the issues. Okay. So generally you will understand when you really work in real time. But as of now, this is enough. Just keep in mind. You will use most of the times you will use them for this purpose. And in the column formulas, if you want to compare all those things, again you will take. Okay, that you need not to worry. Okay, so it's up to you how you efficiently you use it. Okay. Okay, now next chapter is modeling time series data. Okay, so this modeling time series data we will see tomorrow. Okay, sorry, Monday we will take. Monday we will have class. Not on Monday, Tuesday. Generally Monday we don't have, right? Tuesday to Saturday. Because Shruti, if she joins, she can't attend on Monday. Okay, yeah. So